Wow. Holy cow. So, at least for me, Arrow always hits more towards home for me, and it's a lot more relatable than the Flash is. So that was one giant ball of emotions just thrown right at me. Um, that was really well done. Um, for a show that consistently gets better, minus season 3 maybe, but that was crazy. Um, so my list from earlier, who I said maybe survived the blast, was Deathstroke, Black Siren, Mr. Terrific, Black Canary, Wild Dog, confirmed. I already knew all those. And then I said Felicity and Diggle are probably alive. It looked like they were getting pretty close to the blast. Um, but that William's mom was probably dead. Her character wasn't super important. And Thea might be dead. And then obviously Prometheus was dead, even though they didn't show it. Um, and then I said Malcolm Merlin. I really hope that he's alive, but there's not going to be anything shown for that until he would maybe make an appearance again. Um, but that was I was pretty spot on. The only one I was off on is I thought Thea would be dead, but she's in a coma right now, and she's been in a coma for 5 months. Um, so let's get right into it. So my number one WTF moment was how like they showed immediately everybody's still alive. Like within the first 20 something seconds we see Diggle, and then Wild Dog, who number two WTF moment got a brand new uniform, which since I didn't look at spoilers was like, whoa, shoot, he got a brand new uniform, that's cool. um, but then they showed Mr. Terrific, and that led you to think, oh, maybe Felicity's dead. Oh no, like, um, just because like normally that's something Felicity would handle if missiles are flying, but he's gonna have a bigger role this season, which I like. And then you see them back at the bunker. Felicity comes in. They say, oh yeah, Diana is not there tonight in the field, which Black Canary's alive. I didn't put on my list Quentin just because I didn't like with them bringing back Black Canary and Black Siren. He's has to be in that arc. Um, so he's had a good run on Arrow, 6 seasons. He's on the 6th season now, and he's been a series regular for a lot of it. So, I mean, who knows if because of this he bites the dust, but Black Siren is playing the shit out of him, which is my number 3 moment. What the fuck is that she basically like triple crossed them. She attacked the police, or she first had the Faust guy get caught so that she could go into the precinct and search it, leading them to think that she's after Quentin. Then sets up a distraction for them to go and do the academy somewhere else, and they're all there expecting them to show up there. Then the triple cross kind of thing is they actually go into the bunker and steal one of Mr. Terrific's T-spheres, and they're going to use that for whatever in the future. Who knows what their plans are at this point? We don't even know the guy on top of Black Siren, which is my number 4 WTF moment, was somebody we saw Quentin in the flashback shoot Black Siren, his daughter, and then she's supposed to be dead, but somehow she's still alive, and so we see a man get out of a helicopter, walk over into the temple that they were in, and he just walks up to her, and somehow she's alive again. And you're like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like, that's some Damien Dark type shit, but backwards, where you bring somebody to life instead of kill them. And so I don't know who that's going to be. Obviously, I haven't looked into anything. I've tried to keep it spoiler free because I didn't want to know and I wanted to be surprised by some of this stuff. It made it more emotional for me and more attached to the characters that are alive, and that now Thea's in the hospital, and there's more emotion attached to the show, and I really like getting into the show because it's so good. And then number 5, WTF moment. Obviously, Green Arrow, his identity was ousted, and Black Siren used the T-Sphere, first of all, to use those pictures to leak his identity, but it's probably going to be used for more in the future, I'm assuming. I really don't think that's their entire plan is, let's blow up the police station, then invade the bunker just so we can let the public know that the Green Arrow is Oliver Queen. Like, I don't really see the logic behind doing all that just to get that one thing. I feel like there's going to be more with the T-Sphere in the future. And whoever the man is that saved Black Siren, I'm going to look into some of the spoilery stuff and see kind of who it might be and how this plays in. Because I'm sure they casted for a character, and whoever the bad guy is this season, and there's a description about him, and it'll connect to a comic book character, but I haven't done any of the research for that or looked into it at all. So when I do, I'll make another video over who that guy might be, maybe, or we'll see in a couple episodes here who it actually is. Arrow has generally kept the reveal for later. The only time they've really done in your face, here's the villain, is with Damien Dark, just because it's the same thing that Flash is doing right now with their season 3. They teased DeVoe, and now they have the Thinker season 4. Same thing that happened with Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul was talking about Damien Dark and how they were friends, and then he beat out Damien Dark, and so he stole some of the I'm spacing it, the Lazarus Pit, the water from it, and he left. And so they teased that Damien Dark would be a villain, and he shows up first episode, kind of like how they did in Flash with the Thinker. So we probably, assuming that it follows the trend of last season and seasons 1 and 2 and 3, is that we don't really see the main villain of the season until like episode 9 or later, or even get the reveal to like 15, 16, something like that is probably the progression, just from how the pattern is followed most of the seasons. That's just what I'd assume we'd get, but I don't know for sure. You never know. Let's see, anything else I want to talk about? No, I think that's everything. I covered a lot of it, but I overall really like this episode. I wouldn't say it's the strongest series premiere, just because they've had so many good series premieres for Arrow, setting up the villains and setting up cool fight scenes that I feel like they didn't even top any of those really, but it was still good choreography. Everything worked out well, and they have a lot of cool story arcs that they can explore this season, so I'm really excited for it. But again, if I find some stuff about different possibilities for who the guy who revived Laurel might be, I'll do a video about that separately from this and separately from next week's episode, and kind of lay out the theories of who it is and why they're going to Star City, even though terrorist attack after terrorist attack, it's basically destroyed, and now Oliver's trying to build it up. So we'll see what happens. I don't know who it is. I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good day, everybody. Peace out. I'll see you next week.